Welcome to Illuminate Your Truth. I'm your host, Elena Isis, and thank you all so much for joining me today. Now, today's episode is all about the Dreamtime realm. We're going to be diving into a couple of topics regarding Dreamtime. Now, recently I've really dived into this spiritual journey in regards to dreaming. In my last episode, I was talking about the Dreamtime realm and how we can experience spiritual warfare and spiritual attacks in our dreams. And so today we're going to dive into that a little bit more. It's April and we're going to carry on with the spiritual warfare theme. All right. So today we're going to talk about the dream realm. Now, our dreams are super sacred and important. In my opinion, they are just as important as our physical reality. Some people don't think that dreams have much meaning. I, on the other hand, feel like dreams have so much meaning. And I also feel like it is very important to protect ourselves even when we're dreaming. Now, when we're sleeping, that is our most vulnerable state because our souls are traveling throughout the astral realm. And so it's also really important, just like how you would have physical protection and spiritual protection in your waking life, to also have protection in your dream world. We're going to talk about different ways you can protect yourself, but we're also going to talk about the different kind of beings that can visit you while you're dreaming. And there's a plethora of beings that can visit you. But we're just going to touch on a few. And I'm going to share my experiences that I've had with specific beings that have visited me in my dream time. Okay, so why are our dreams sacred? Well, our dreams are sacred because they give us a view into our subconscious. Not only that, our higher self and people who we may know as higher self, I mean, it could be people that we don't know, they can also connect with us when we are dreaming. When we're dreaming, our souls are traveling through the astral realm, and, we could be visiting people in our dreams. We could be helping people in our dreams, but we're not the only ones. Like, souls are not the only thing in the astral realm. There are also beings. There are different spirits that can also visit us in our dreams. For that very reason, I feel like it's a really good idea to get good at lucid dreaming. Now, lucid dreaming is when you're in a dream and you know that you're dreaming. And you know that you're dreaming, and so you can kind of control the dream in a way. Now, if you are experiencing something that you may not find to be too pleasant, so a being maybe enters your dream and is trying to harm you, you can have the capacity to say, okay, this is a dream. I don't approve of this. This isn't something that I want to deal with right now or ever. So I'm going to wake up. And then you would wake yourself up. Or you can change the dream into another dream, or you could tell the being to leave by specific methods that we're going to talk about later. But lucid dreaming is something that is also very helpful. If you want to get good at lucid dreaming, I would say to start keeping a dream journal. I love dream journals. I keep one really close to my bed, or I'll use my phone to jot down different dreams that I may have. Also, a little note, I have journals that I've created on my Etsy shop, so head on over to that. The link is in the show note description, but I have tons of stationary journals that you could use for dream journaling. So go check it out. But I really love waking up, and if I have a dream that is significant, I will jot it down. I'll jot down as much as I can remember. It doesn't have to be the whole dream, but anything important, I will jot it down, and then I'll just go back to sleep. But whenever you're in the habit of waking up, writing down, you can wake up easier, or it helps you like know that you're dreaming. It helps you instill into your mind when you're dreaming. And it's almost like work. It's almost like you're working. It's like you're getting these nuggets that God is sending you in these dreams, and you're writing down the signs, you're writing down what he wants you to know, remember from the dream. And so do that, start journaling. It's hard at first because when you're sleeping and you might be a heavy sleeper, it's kind of hard to keep waking up and writing down. I like to keep a little like lamp by my bed or a little light by my bed. So kind of make it easy for yourself. But dream journaling is key to helping your body and your mind wake up, know that you're dreaming, know that when you're going to bed, it's not just sleeping time, it's spiritual time as well. All right, so now we're going to talk about the different beings that you can run into and the different situations that you can run into while you're dreaming. The first situation happened to me about 2 years ago, and we're going to talk about sleep paralysis. This happens, I've heard so many different stories about sleep paralysis, and my experience was very different than other stories that I had heard. Very clearly remember falling asleep on my couch and waking up mentally, my eyes being open, but I was not able to move. My body had not waken up yet, and I couldn't move at all. At first, I was kind of freaking out. Yes. At first, it made me a little nervous. And I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't move. After that, a little boy walked up to me. And I thought that he was my kid, but this kid was way older than my kid. This kid was at least 10. All right, I have littles. And he walked up to me and he was like, Mom. I just like stared at him, and I just looked and I was like, oh my God, I'm not your mom. And he's like, Mom, I have to go to the bathroom. And I just thought to myself, what is going on? And instantly I just knew, I was like, okay, this kid is not here. This kid is passed on. This is a disembodied spirit and he needs my help. Now, this happens to me often. I'm a psychopomp. I enjoy the work of crossing people over, of crossing souls over. So this is not something that shocked me too much, but I was shocked because of the fact that I couldn't move. He was like, Mom, I have to go to the bathroom. And I was like, all right, you got, hold on. And so after a few minutes, I was able to wake up and my body started waking up and I was able to start moving. A lot of people in this instance, they have seen other kinds of beings, like darker beings. Me, I have never experienced that. I've only seen disembodied spirits. So when I woke up, I went upstairs and I was able to tell him what was going on. I had to reassure him that he had died. I got the backstory on what had happened to him. I called in Jesus and we were able to cross him over into the light. But that was my first experience with sleep paralysis. It wasn't as creepy as other people's stories are about sleep paralysis, so I was kind of grateful for that. But that can definitely happen to you while you're dreaming. It's a little bit jarring, but know that entities can visit you, but also disembodied spirits can enter your space and speak to you when you're in sleep paralysis. And if you do run into a disembodied spirit, I would suggest calling in Jesus and having Jesus or Archangel Michael or God to help cross that soul over into the light, because that's really what they're looking to you for. That's why they're coming to you, because you can see them in that moment. In that moment, the veil is extremely thin, especially if you're physically seeing the soul in front of you. So take that as a sign as, okay, I'm your psychopomp today. Hi, what's your name? Oh, nice to meet you. All right, there is the portal. Jesus, soften their heart, please. Love you, bye. Mwah. Right? All right. So, yes, disembodied spirits or souls that have not crossed over, souls that have died, can actually come to you in this state of sleep paralysis. Okay, now next beings are a little bit creepier, and I'm just going to call them dark entities because there's so many different names of spirits that can visit us that want to feed off of your fear. That's why they're visiting you. Sometimes they'll be in a dream, and all of a sudden you'll see some kind of dark entity or some really creepy, you'll get a creepy feeling. Sometimes you won't even see them because sometimes they really will just be invisible, and they just like to scare you off of their energy. And so sometimes you'll feel them in the dream hovering over you. I've experienced this a lot. A lot of times I'll have dreams where I'm laying in bed and I think that I'm awake, but I'm not. And then I'll feel an entity over top of me, trying to harm me in a way, trying to scare me, trying to push me down into my bed. That is a dream that's happened. I've had that dream happen multiple times, actually. And so in those instances, I just call on Jesus. I just call on my angels, and I just pray. Jesus Christ, please, release this entity. And usually I will just wake up. And after that, I'll burn some sage. I'll write down the dream. I'll start praying. I'll put on some high vibrational music. I'll put on some, Christian music or something like that, just to clear the air, clear the space, calm my nerves. But the goal is to not get scared because they can't do anything to you. So it's really important to not be scared. Just say, I'm done. Get away. You gotta go. All right. You gotta go. Just stand up for yourself in these situations. All they want is your light. All they want to do is feed off of your fear. Sometimes these spirits can actually be sent by other people who are initiating spiritual warfare with you. I've always talked about witches or, people who work with dark entities, and they like to send them to people of the light so they can steal your light, so they can feed themselves and the entities. Very common trend. But do not be afraid. That is the key factor here. You can send the entity love. You can tell the entity to leave. Call on Jesus. Call on God. They have got your back at all times. Very important to just stand your ground. This is your space, okay? This is your dream. This is your energy. And not everybody can have access to that, and that's okay. And you have to let energies and entities and people know that you cannot just take. You have a choice. So you really have to stand up for yourself in those situations. So the next set of beings we're going to talk about, not many people may have experienced these, but I've experienced these. And we're going to talk about succubuses and incubuses. Now, these are sexual beings, all right, and they feed off of sexual energy. So if you are a very sexual person and you're very open about that, sometimes you will find yourself visited by these specific entities. Now, these entities can also be sent to you. I've experienced finding people's energy, just like old friends or people that I've known's energy in my energy. And I've cut cords. I've done all those energetic work to get rid of that. And after I've done that, I've been attacked by succubuses and incubuses. Let's get into a little bit of background about dark beings, okay? Even succubuses and incubuses. I've mentioned in my past Black Sheep episode we talked about our ancestral shadow, correct? Like we've spoken about the ancestral shadow. Now, the ancestral shadow can have so many types of darkness. It can have so many types of dark entities or beings, trauma. People can carry these entities with them. It's almost like they walk with them in the background, and they're either privy to it or they have no idea. Or they either know or they don't. That's a choice, okay? But sometimes someone can initiate spiritual warfare and send their entities to you, even succubuses and incubuses. And the attack will come in your dreams. And so that's why it's so important to look at your shadows, guys. I'm telling you, because if this stuff is dormant, you don't know who you're attacking. You don't know what you're doing to people in their dream time, even in just waking life. So that's what I'm saying. Like, please start looking at your shadow. Please start doing shadow work. Please start doing ancestral healing work. Please start looking at the different entities and beings that are following your ancestral line, because we don't know what our ancestors did. Like, some of our ancestors were into some really crazy stuff, okay? And that stuff gets pushed under the rug, down, 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 down. But a lot of times there can be beings and entities that follow us because of the things that our ancestors did, and because of things that they conjured up, and the things that are just following them. And so they, in turn, are probably following you as well. So take a look. All right. So succubuses and incubuses feed off of sexual energy. So the attack is a little bit different, but it's somewhat similar to just dark beings attacking you. I had an experience where I was attacked. I'm just going to go through this one experience where I had a spiritual attack in my dream by a succubus and an incubus. Now, the thing about these entities are they're shapeshifters. So a lot of times they're not going to come to you with how they actually look. If they even have a look, I don't know. Sometimes they just don't appear at all. But the thing about it is they will shapeshift. So in the dream, they may look like a beautiful woman, but there's something off about her. All right. There's something off about her. You're suspicious of her, and you don't know why you're suspicious of her, but something is weird. She may kind of harm you or someone that you care about in the dream, and you kind of just want to get out of the dream. That's one thing you'll feel. And I remember feeling like I wanted to get out of there. And so I was trying to find my way out by trying to unlock a door, but then behind the door there was another door, and I had to unlock that door. And I just found myself running through the dream, unlocking all these doors, trying to find the real door. And once I found the real door, I went back upstairs, because in the dream I had someone that I cared about with me, and I had to go get them so that we could leave. And then I remember getting pulled into a bed, okay? I was pulled into a bed, and she was laying next to me, and she had her hand on my hand, and she was pushing me down. There's a thing about pushing you down. You'll feel the pressure. And I knew that she wanted sex. It was very prominent, the energy of, you're going to have sex with me right here. And then I remember a very dark entity entering the room. And this was a male. This was an incubus energy. I didn't see it, but I didn't need to see it because it was so prominent. I could feel it. I mean, it was heavy, entering the room and hovering over top of me. And I knew that entity wanted sex as well, my sexual energy. I completely refused. I was actually very pissed. I was like, are you serious right now? You are seriously trying to do this to me? As they were like pushing me down onto the bed, okay? And I was just like, you're not getting anything from me. And then I was just like, I'm waking up. And then I just woke up. And when I woke up, I just was like, whoa. I've had experiences with those kind of energies before, but that was the most intense experience that I had. But I knew exactly what I was dealing with that dream and the beings in the dream. And so I hurried up. I put my music on, my high vibrational music. I started journaling the hell out of it, every little freaking detail I could remember. And at that point, I knew who sent it and where it came from, and, the history behind it, and, everything. Because God is good like that. He'll let you know. He doesn't just let you go through these experiences to suffer. He lets you experience these experiences to grow. He lets you experience these experiences to get clarity, to gain clarity on your path as to why you're here and what you're here to do and how strong you are, because he wants you to know that you are a powerful being of light, and that you can call on him and Jesus, and they will come in and step in and save you. Okay. But he wants you to know that these energies exist and they are real and they are in the world. And so it's important to understand that. So after the dream, I was like, wow, that was a succubus. But know that they will shapeshift. I don't know if all incubuses feel like that, but I remember looking up over the covers in the dream and like, there was nothing there, but there was something there. I fucking felt it like you wouldn't believe. It was the heaviest, darkest energy I'd ever imagined. Instantly, you will know what they want. It will be sexual in nature. So don't let them get far. You have to stand firm. You have to be fearless. Okay. You have to be 222 on the clock. You have to be fearless. You have to know that you are in control. Because when you get to a high level spiritually and you're able to see beings, feel beings, know when an entity enters the room, you have to know and you have to be fearless, because when they know you can feel them and see them, it changes. It's a game changer. They just want to get your attention all the time, or they want your energy all the time. But that's why boundaries are so important. So now we're going to get into how to prevent and protect yourself. Now, before I go to bed, I really like to pray. I like to pray to God. I like to ask him to protect me, my family. I like to pray to Archangel Michael, and I like to ask Archangel Michael to literally stand next to my bed. Okay, please stand next to my bed. And 23 on the clock. Please stay next to my bed. And please protect me while I'm dreaming. Please don't let any dark entities or beings that want to steal my energy to enter my dreams, or people who want to steal my energy to enter my dreams, okay? You want to be very clear, very specific. Whatever angel you want to pray to for protection, or God or Jesus, whoever, just do that. And just ask for protection while you're sleeping, because you want that spiritual barrier around yourself. I always pray for my family as well. Pray for anybody that you care about to protect them while they're dreaming, because that's a really vulnerable state that we're in. We're not, you could say we're not in control, but I'm trying to teach you how to be in control. May seem like a disempowering kind of thing, but it's very empowering, actually. And we have to remember that God is allowing these attacks he'll allow some of the attacks to come through. So don't think that just because you're, doing these things that are going to protect you, that nothing will ever come through. He's going to let some things come through so that you can grow, so that you can learn, so that you can get stronger, so that you can strengthen yourself and your warrior fighting capabilities. Because, you're a warrior. I mean, you're not going to learn anything in calm water. You got to let the waves fucking crash around, and you got to smash it out. That's where you learn the best lessons. That's how you get stronger. That's how you learn how to fight. And so he's going to let some things through sometimes, and don't feel mad about it. Just take it as, okay, I'm getting stronger. I'm learning, right? And the next thing I like are healing crystals. I have them everywhere, but I really like to put some in my pillowcase. Dark crystals like tourmalines and hematites and iron ore, anything like shungites, you can do that. You can put those around your bed. You can put them in your bed, like under your sheets. You could just do any kind of put healing crystals that are protective near you while you're dreaming. I also like preonite. Preonite, if you want to get good at lucid dreaming and having vivid dreams, preonite, it's the cutest little green crystal, and you can put that near your bed as well to help you have more lucid dreams and clear, vivid dreams, which is top tier, But yeah, the main thing is keeping your fear in check. You want to know that these entities can't not harm you, and that God can clear and remove anything that may be trying to attack you. But you really just have to work on the fear, because that's the food for them. That's what they want to eat. That's what they are coming to you for. It's your light. And if you're growing and expanding and growing your wisdom and your abilities, you're going to find that these beings are going to come more often for you. And so don't take it as this is horrible, no, it's a sign of growth. I know. what the fuck did we sign up for? This is weird. But I wouldn't change it for the world because it's made me who I am today. And I mean, I kind of love it. So, but keep your fear in check and just know that you're protected always and you're guided always. But yes, so these are just a few of the entities and the energies that can visit you in your dreams while you're sleeping. And it's normal, 27 on the clock. It's normal and it's okay. Just keep track of all of your dreams. I love a journal. I write in your journal and then go back and go through your dreams and reread things. And you may pick up on little signs or things that may help you in the future. But that's why keeping a dream journal is just so, so important. All right. So that was great. Thank you all so much. Head on over to my Instagram, Illuminate Your Truth podcast, and go follow me on there. I'm taking requests in regards to different topics. So if you have a certain topic that you would like me to touch on, feel free to message me on Instagram, Illuminate Your Truth podcast, and let me know. I'm really excited about the future here with this podcast. And I want to know what you all are interested in and what you want me to speak about, because I've got a plethora of topics, but I really want to know what you all want to hear. That's really important to me. So head on over there. I also have a new YouTube channel that I'm starting. It's just Illuminate Your Truth podcast. And so I just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in, and I love you. And so I hope you have a wonderful day. All right. So bye for now.